Hello, my name is Matt Hardy, and here's my 2013 Volt. Start under the hood. Pretty clean under here. Actually done very little to this car. I've changed the coolant in the reservoirs once, sucked the brake fluid out of the master cylinder and replaced it with fresh fluid. Done the oil change a few times. Very clean inside the engine. You'll be able to see in there, but no sludge. When the oil life gets down to about 10%, I change it with good quality oil and a Wix filter. This engine has always run perfectly. Never had any issue with how the engine runs. Never a misfire. Never any drivability problems on the engine. To me, the engine is in excellent condition. Close the hood. Exterior of the vehicle is in good condition. Headlights are nice and clear. They've never been refinished. When I got this car, the job I had at the time, I was lucky to have shaded parking all day, so it hasn't sat out in the sun. The lights are all clean and clear, in good shape. There's a few rock chips, of course, like any car. It does have almost since day one when I bought a Volt screen to protect the radiator from little rock chips, because I saw in the Volt group that the radiators can leak easily and it's kind of a big job to replace it. About a year ago, I put Goodyear Viva 3 all-season tires on it, and the tread depth is excellent on all the tires. They really only have a few thousand miles. One defect, this wheel's got a little bit of scuff on it. It was like that when I bought it. I promise I didn't do that because I don't scuff up the wheels. It's got the shorter air dam on it that I bought from GM parts place online. So this one still scrapes like they all do, but it doesn't scrape quite as much. It's in good condition. Just walk around the outside. I did a quick wash on it, so it's not perfect. There's some water residue on it, but the mirror folds. All the glass is good. The glass still has the GM logos on them. I did not put any tint on this car, so whatever tint it has is the factory tint. I think it's the original windshield. I can't promise that, but I've never replaced the windshield and it does not have any cracks. May have a chip or two in it, but no cracks. All the lower cladding is in good shape. Another Goodyear tire in excellent condition, a lot of tread on it. The rotors are a little rusty because it's been sitting out here, and whenever it rains, the rain splashes up and makes the rotor rust. That's true of any car. But as soon as you drive it, that rust will rub off of there real quick. I did buy this car from CarMax, October 11th, 2014. I bought this car. It had 40,900-ish miles on it. This is a sticker from my neighborhood association. I'll take that off at some point if it sells. Liftgate works. Interior is pretty good. A little dusty back here. Is very hard to clean the little debris off of this. Here's a brand new AGM battery, 760 cold cranking amps. The part that goes under there is right here, and I have not put it back yet, but I have all 4 nuts to replace it, put it back in, because I've been disconnecting the battery while it sits here. There's the nuts. Here's the original CarMax paperwork. Here's the charge cord instructions, I guess, that I've never even looked at. All the lights work. Rear glass is good. Antenna's in good shape. Passenger side, same thing. I put all 4 tires on at the same time, so they're all in excellent condition. I know there's probably a shadow here. It's a little hard to see it because the sun is low this time of year. Oh, and by the way, welcome to sunny and beautiful Houston, Texas. It's a little windy today, but it's about 60 degrees. It's a beautiful day. Sorry if you're stuck in the frozen north and freezing and having to deal with snow. That's one thing I love about Houston. Don't have to deal with that. I used to live in upstate New York. Moved here in the 80s, and although I miss upstate New York, I don't miss those hard winters. So, you know, on the outside, to me, this is a clean car with 101,500 miles or so, and being a 2013, the outside is very, very nice. It's not perfect. There's a rock chip here and there, a little scratch right here, unfortunately, on the door. That was my fault. That frustrated me, but you know, it's I try to take really good care of cars, but I don't nitpick them. I don't try to keep it museum quality. This is a driver, you know. It's in great condition, but I did drive it, so it gets little things here or there. There's a little imperfection right here, and I promise I didn't do that. I think I parked it out here on the street one time, and I think the mail truck gave me a little kiss right there, and that kind of frustrated me, but it's not worth the cost to repaint the whole face just for that. A little touch-up paint would probably conceal it. And again, I bought this car used, so you know, some of the very minor imperfections were there when I bought it. Everything works like that. All these buttons work, door handles work, mirror folds. I have it on auto lock right now, so it just locked. That's a cool feature. That button works. This button works. Here's a view of the back seat. You know, like most cars, don't have many hours of people sitting here in the back seat, so it's you know, the car needs a little detail. It's a little dusty here and there, but everything works back here. Move on to the inside. All the seats work. All the adjustments of the seats, up and down, back and forth, tilt, rake, everything works. They're not power seats, they're manual. This is the base car. When I bought this car, I bought it very much on purpose. That screen's a little different. I bought this car very much on purpose because I always wanted a Chevy Volt, but I wasn't going to pay $40,000 for it, so I waited a while. I waited for them to become used cars. And I saw this one for sale at CarMax for, you know, $19,995 or whatever, and I jumped on it, and it was a really clean car, and I really wanted the white center console. I thought that was really cool, made it look kind of futuristic. So I got both keys right here. This one works perfectly. I think this one, the battery, this one's been in my drawer for years. I think the battery inside it is dead. But this one here works. No problem. Let's see if she'll. Here's the problem when you turn it on, so to speak. It does this long initializing, and most of the time it will it looks like it turns on, but it doesn't go to ready. Put the windows down because it's actually a little warm in here, believe it or not. All the power windows work. Power windows work perfectly. Power mirrors work. All of the power locks work perfectly. There's zero issues on that. Everything here, the charge door opens with a button. Now I will say when it's cold outside, the charge door sticks a little, and that's a very common Volt problem. Everything up here is good on the upper console. The headliner is in great condition. There's a little tiny dirty spot there where I probably carried something big, but it's not ripped or anything. Just a little bit of cleaning. Visors are in good shape. They work perfectly. The lights work. All the interior lights work. The garage door opener works. There it goes. There it goes. Garage door opener works. I've never actually pushed the OnStar button. I've never used the phone feature, but I assume all that works. Everything here in the center console is in excellent condition. You can see the lifetime fuel economy is 88.4 miles per gallon. When I bought this car, it was very low, and I made sure to charge it all the time and drive kind of carefully and try to get that. I was trying to get it up to 100. I read some things online where you can reset it, and I decided just not to do that. As I mentioned, we do have the service airbag, and it's because of the presence sensor in this seat. Like when I have a passenger and they sit in it, sometimes the airbag light goes off. It's a glitchy sensor in there, so the light will go off, and then if she moves in the seat, it'll come back on, and I've just ignored it because, again, I like to take really good care of my car, but I don't nitpick it, and I've got a lot of other obligations. So spending a couple $100 or whatever it costs to replace that just wasn't on the top of my list. It was on my list, but it wasn't on top. The rest of the center console in really good condition. Cup holders, this center armrest is good. Looks like virtually no wear or tear on that. The seats all look excellent. Black's such a good color because it doesn't show the dirt, but there's no rips or tears or burns. Steering wheel is a little wiped down, but in good condition. Radio works, sounds good, and we have good reception on AM and FM, so no issues there. What else? All this stuff here works. When I got the car in October 14, I reset Trip A. So me personally, I've done, you can see 60,761 miles, burned 356 gallons. That's my personal performance. And then whenever I fill it up, I get reset Trip B. But that kind of got messed up by just my short trips and the problem the car has now. Sometimes the engine runs when it really shouldn't be. So one thing I said was, occasionally, it happened once yesterday, I was playing with the car and I got the engine to start one time, because with this particular problem, when it does finally turn on, the engine runs most of the time. Now, I did drive it home from work and drove it around a little bit while I was at work, and it ran in battery mode. Someone online said charge the battery. Well, the battery actually has a charge, it's just not showing it right now. But if this little glitch decides to cure itself momentarily, it will run on battery power, no problem. And I always liked the way this car drove. To me, Volt, I consider myself to be a connoisseur of cars. I've been in the car business for 30 years. I know the way a car is supposed to feel. And I can tell you that Camry, although it's a perfectly good car, it doesn't feel good. There's some things that are not right about it. Very reliable, it goes down the road fine, it's super invisible, but it just doesn't drive the way this Volt does. I love the silence of the electric powertrain and the way it handles the bumps. It feels like a more expensive car. I know the date and everything is wrong. That's because I've been disconnecting the battery, but that works fine too. The AC in this car, now look, I'm in Houston. it's hot here in the summertime. I mean, it's 100 degrees a lot of the time. The AC in this car is very acceptable. Always has blown cold. Never had an issue with the AC. A lot of the Volts had heater problems, required new pumps or reprogramming or whatever it was, and I've been lucky on that. The heater, the few times that I need the heater, it's always worked with zero issues. So I've never had to do any work to it. The work on this car that I've done, 3 or 4 oil changes, maybe 5, 6. I don't even know. I don't remember. I don't write it down. But when the oil life gets to, like 10% or whatever, change the oil. Yeah, it's about time for an oil change. So that was on my list of things to do soon. So I've changed the oil a few times. I've put 2 sets of tires on it. I've done the alignment a few times. That's about it. The car hasn't needed anything else. There's just not much to do to it. Just charge it and drive it. So all the controls on the steering wheel work. Everything here works perfectly. There's no glitches. I heard some people have problems with the drive mode button. This one works perfectly every time. What else? Someone noticed that this doesn't sit quite flush, and I was looking at it, and yeah, that little part there is a little bit broken, so it needs a new lid. That was actually, come to think of it, that was my fault, because I had something in here, some sunglasses or something that were a little too big, and I tried to close it, and I guess it broke the hinge. So, but this part's available. Can't cost that much. Any questions, let me know. But nice clean car. It's got the silver trim here and the white center console, the white steering wheel accents. Oh yeah, wipers. Let's see. Yep, wipers work, and they're good wiper blades. Turn signals work. Right now with this problem, because it's not turning on fully, like the power steering's not active, but the power steering totally works. I've had no issues with that. And right now the climate, until the car turns on, the climate, it won't do anything. It's like the fan doesn't engage. But I promise that the climate control works perfectly when the car does turn on. It's just not, you can see that it doesn't have the ready symbol up there. So that's due to that P0B4A problem. But other than that, it's good to go. Tire pressure system works fine. We've got that little airbag light. And 101,734 miles. So that's about it. If you have any other questions, let me know.